Hi there readers, and welcome to a read through today of a section of the Gifts of Imperfection. So I was reading through this yesterday. I was updating, I got behind on writing my notes. So when I read a book, I do lots of things that people think is quite heinous, like fold pages over and make notes. But to me, this is a textbook. This is something that I need to be able to go back to the bits that were important. It's not a precious book that can't be marked up. It's precious because of its content, and I need to take that content into my life. So, and I also need to bring it to you. So I do mark my books up a lot, and then I go through and I write up my notes, pull out the quotes that I really like, blah blah blah. So I was doing this yesterday, and what happens is with a book like this is you read through it and there'll be bits that resonate with you. If you go back to this book a little bit later, there'll be other bits that resonate with you, because it depends on your thoughts at the time, your inputs, who you're spending time with, what they're saying, what else you're reading, what you're listening to, blah blah blah. So this is the bit that really caught my eye yesterday, and I really liked it, and it's going to make a really nice little read through. So if you want to join in and read along with me, then just press pause, go and grab your book, turn to page 108. We're just going to start with this section on scarcity. So the first sentence I don't like. These are anxious and fearful times, both of which breed scarcity. I think any time can be an anxious and a fearful time. It's not, it doesn't come and go with what's going on in the world. Honestly, this is a common misconception in the world that these are anxious and fearful times. Life is like that. It's challenging. So we'll just move on. We're afraid to lose what we love the most, and we hate that there are no guarantees. We think not being grateful and not feeling joy will make it hurt less. We think if we can beat vulnerability to the punch by imagining loss, we'll suffer less. We're wrong. There is one guarantee. If we're not practicing gratitude and allowing ourselves to know joy, we are missing out on the two things that will actually sustain us during the inevitable hard times. What I'm describing above is scarcity of safety and uncertainty, but there are other kinds of scarcity. My friend Lynn Twist has written an incredible book called The Soul of Money. In this book, Lynn addresses the myth of scarcity. She writes, "For me and for many of us, our first waking thought of the day is, I didn't get enough sleep. The next one is, I don't have enough time." Whether true or not, that thought of not enough occurs to us automatically before we even think to question or examine it. We spend most of the hours and days of our lives hearing, explaining, complaining, or worrying about what we don't have enough of. We don't have enough exercise, we don't have enough work, we don't have enough profits, we don't have enough power, we don't have enough wilderness, we don't have enough weekends, and of course, we don't have enough money, ever. We're not thin enough, we're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough or fit enough or educated or successful enough or rich enough, ever. Before we even sit up in bed, before our feet touch the floor, we're already inadequate, already behind, already losing, already lacking something. And by the time we go to bed at night, our minds race with a litany of what we didn't get or didn't get done that day. We go to sleep burdened by those thoughts and wake up to the reverie of lack. What begins as a simple expression of the hurried life, or even the challenged life, grows into the great justification for an unfulfilled life. As I read this passage, it makes total sense to me why we're a nation hungry for more joy, because we're starving from lack of gratitude. Lynn says that addressing scarcity doesn't mean searching for abundance, but rather choosing a mindset of sufficiency. We each have the choice in any setting to step back and let go of the mindset of scarcity. Once we let go of scarcity, we discover the surprising truth of sufficiency. By sufficiency, I don't mean a quantity of anything. Sufficiency isn't 2 steps up from poverty or 1 step short of abundance. It isn't a measure of barely enough or more than enough. Sufficiency isn't an amount at all. It is an experience, a context we generate, a declaration, a knowing that there is enough and that we are enough. Sufficiency resides inside each of us, and we can call it forward. It is a consciousness, an attention, an intentional choosing of the way we think about our circumstances. Scarcity is also great fuel for the gremlins. In my earlier shame research and in this more recent research, I realised how many of us have bought into the idea that something has to be extraordinary if it's going to bring us joy. In I Thought It Was Just Me, I write, we seem to measure the value of people's contributions, and sometimes their entire lives, by their level of public recognition. In other words, worth is measured by fame and fortune. Our culture is quick to dismiss quiet, ordinary, hard-working people. In many instances, we equate ordinary with boring, or even more dangerous, ordinary has become synonymous with meaningless. I think I learned the most about the value of ordinary from interviewing people who have experienced tremendous loss, such as the loss of a child, violence, genocide, and trauma. The memories that they held most sacred were the ordinary everyday moments. It was clear that their most precious memories were forged from a collection of ordinary moments, and their hope for others is that they would stop long enough to be grateful for those moments and the joy they bring. Author and spiritual leader Marianne Williamson says, "Joy is what happens to us when we allow ourselves to recognize how good things really are." I love that whole section. I think there's so much to take from that and so much to learn from it. And it's a real spotlight on the fact that the opposite of scarcity isn't necessarily abundance. There's this whole bit that means that if we can generate those thoughts of sufficiency, we move out of the scarcity and fear that often holds us back. When we recognize we are enough, we can then do more to be better. Does that make sense? Whereas when we think we're not enough, it holds us back from doing the things that we need to do, from getting out of our comfort zone, from setting ourselves goals, actions, for us to be consistent, to let ourselves go and experience failures as well. And then it's all tied together by a quote from a different author about recognizing how good things really are. And if you can go to bed at the end of the day recognizing how good things really, really are, when you wake up in the morning, you're going to be ready to do things a little bit differently and not wake up with those instant thoughts of not enough. I hope that really helps you to take this book into your bones and into your everyday lives. Let me know in the comments any thoughts. Read through that section and let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon. Bye.